For those of you making Haranir out there, some changes have happened that you'll be happy with. A few other things that you should be getting done this week, and some of the stuff that's just changed recently since the expansion's gone live. So let's just get into it here. Haranir armor issues. That's right, for all you Haranir out there, as I like to call them. You've been noticing some armor issues, weird clipping, things not setting up right, maybe pieces of armor not even showing. Well, Blizzard has addressed this. They actually knew this was a problem before the Haranir actually went live, but they thought it wasn't that big of a deal and they would fix it later. Turns out, since players have been making these characters, they've noticed a lot more armor was more broken than they previously thought. So they're going to go ahead and try to get this fixed as soon as possible. Blizzard released a blue post saying it's become a priority of theirs to fix many of the Haranir armor issues. When it comes to visibility and issues with the, like I said, the way they're currently lined up on the players. So they will implement this fix in the current version of 12.0.1 over the next week or so. So those things will be fixed. If anyone make a Haranir out there in chat, I know that was a thing yesterday. A lot of players were getting into who had early access because they've already basically unlocked them. So yeah, make your Haranir. Know that the armor might look a little bit broken, but it's planning on getting fixed. Speaking of the Haranir, their abundance world event should now be fixed. If you are aware of the fact that, you know, this was broken, okay? This was a broken thing. Players were trying to do it, donate stuff to the little capybara Loa, and it wasn't working. So this should be working now. Blizzard did implement a hotfix, which means you can now go through this. I'm telling you guys, do the world events. It's a really good way to pick up renown early in this expansion, because right now, probably the best 4 sources of gear are the renown tracks. You get 4 pieces of champions gear from those. And yes, people are already getting up to rank 8 and 9 on these renown tracks. So get that shit done. Do these things, and get yourself some of the best gear you can have pre-season 1 launch. Also, endeavors are actually pretty useful right now. If you're in a neighborhood, you're part of a guild neighborhood, whatever it is, the current endeavor, it's not a choice for anybody. It is a Blood Elf endeavor, okay? Which means you get a portal to Silvermoon through the endeavor quest line. So that's pretty cool, because that means your housing Hearthstone, which is only a 15-minute cooldown, essentially acts as a Silvermoon Hearthstone as well, which is really handy for questing right now if you're currently going through that journey. So make sure whoever runs your neighborhood picks up the endeavor quest and gets this thing started so you can get this portal. If you're part of a public neighborhood, nobody needs to select this thing. It automatically gets picked. So that's a nice little tip there, since they removed the Arcantina little Hearthstone that we used to have that would take us straight to Silvermoon. Now that just takes you wherever you previously were if you walk out the front door. So a nice little 15-minute take back to Silvermoon there. Also, if you missed pre-patch, hey, it's no big deal. You can actually purchase all the previously offered pre-patch items now with resonance crystals. That's right, that includes the big boy mount that was available through this thing. So for everybody who ran around collecting rares and getting these Twilight's Blade insignias, Blizzard's giving them the double birds and saying, hey, guess what? Fuck you. This shit's now available for resonance crystals, which everybody has a shit ton of for sure if you played the War Within. So you didn't have to grind that thing out, actually. So now you can go pick this stuff up from Materialist Ophanil, that's right, and Armor Kalinin. So I don't know where the hell these guys are at. It looks like they're actually sitting in the previous campsite where this whole thing was once held. So there you go. Go to the campsite where this was, and you can purchase these items still. As I said before, for resonance crystals, which is actually a way better deal than these damn Twilight's insignia. I wanted to grind it. Oh, hey, yeah, I mean, there wasn't much else to do in the game, so why not? Also, crafters out there, you can now get 2 Sparks of Radiance available. They're now available this week for completing the Midnight World Tour, and along with the Unity Against the Void weekly quest, both awarding Sparks of Radiance. That's right. So now you can take 2. There's no more of the little, you know, pieces of Radiance and all that shit. Now things for crafters will cost double now with this change, but the Sparks of Radiance, that is now available for you to craft. You'll have 2 of them, or you can hold on to them and be ready to craft your weapon by the time Season 1 is about to go live. So, you know, pick and choose how you want to do this, but a lot of us know this will create some best-in-slot weapons and armor going forward for a lot of classes out there. So this is a really big thing to have. Go ahead and craft it if you want, or as I said before, save it so you can have 2 more next week to go ahead and craft your weapon. Or I should say 1 more next week and the week after to go ahead and craft your weapon as the Season 1 friendly kicks off. Also, guys, if you've been doing the Prey system, it's been a pretty good source of gear right now. You can get veteran track gear from doing the hard mode difficulty, but many of you may have not unlocked the hard mode difficulty yet. So how do you do that? Samiccus is going to let you know right now. You're going to go ahead, reach level 90, obviously, complete the introductory quest line for Astralore Bloodsworn, starting with the Prey to Astralore's Initiative. Once you complete it, You're going to want to complete at least one normal mode journey. Return to Astalor and pick up the one hero's prey to complete the normal mode, as I said before. Don't worry about the hunt. By the way, you only get to do 4 of each of these on a specific difficulty each week, which means if you have the hard mode and normal mode unlocked, you can do 8 prey runs total, giving you a shot at gear every single time, so that's pretty nice. Upon completion of the quest, return to Astalor Bloodsworn to witness the effects of anguish in a short practical magic quest, which will then unlock the hard mode difficulty. As I said before, what are you going to get if you do the hard mode difficulty stuff? You're going to get veteran track gear, Voidlight Marl, some veteran Dawn Crest, which you might want to save for the season to kick off, and some tormented tantalum. So running these things is a good idea right now if you don't have much else going on. These and Mythic Zeros, which I'll talk about in a second, are some good stuff to do. And then, of course, getting that renown track up to those champion level pieces of gear. So right now, you can basically gear out in champion and veteran level gear. That's probably where you're going to be sitting until the expansion, until the season actually kicks off. Now, should you upgrade that gear? Probably not. Just kind of hold where it currently is. You're going to replace it so quickly once the season officially kicks off, if you're going to kick off with Mythic Plus and everything. So I would just hold off on upgrading gear, but getting that gear, kind of important right now as we get ready for the season to kick off. So Mythic Zeros, I briefly mentioned them earlier. It's a good time to do those right now. So those things are going to give you pieces of a veteran track gear. So that's a really good source right now. Obviously, you can't run these indefinitely. They're going to be capped, so you could do each one once a week per reset, which means you got yourself 8 dungeons here because it's all the dungeons combined, not just your seasonal dungeons. This is the level up dungeons and the max level dungeons. You got 8 total dungeons. They'll be dropping, as I said before, 3 of 6 veteran gear. That's not bad. So these are already halfway upgraded. This is the highest level gear you can get right now in the game, besides those 4 pieces of champions gear that I mentioned from the renown track. So this is a good way to gear out real quick. Do these plus your you got basically do these plus your prey runs, plus getting that champion level gear from your renown track, and you'll be ready to go as soon as the season kicks off. And then finally, last piece of little news here. Have you guys been walking around in Silvermoon maybe as a warlock or a troll or a death knight? You may have been getting different emotes and voice lines from the guards if you've been doing this. This is really cool stuff. I think Silvermoon's been a really fun hub city to walk around in. I love the fucking aesthetic, the music, and the amount of NPCs walking around. Evidently, players have noticed that these guards and NPCs actually react different to you based on what you are. Yes, Shadow Priests included here. So they'll either give you threatening or menacing looks or actual voice line differences if you talk to them. So the community has noticed these things, threatening you if you're a warlock, making rude remarks if you're a Zandalari troll, and even complimenting you if you're a Blood Elf paladin. Look at this one. This is for a Void Elf here walking around. They notice the text right here. The nearby guard glares at you and the void energy that you surround yourself with. So again, freaking hilarious stuff here. More just immersion. Also, if you talk to some people, you're going to get different stuff. The Zandalari, I should say the Amani troll area right here. They get a little warrior quest text. So if you see anything with a class leading and the little blurb here, that means that is specific to your class. So other stuff here for a rogue, talking about this quest right here. I'm looking for work. You know anyone who needs help moving product? Yeah, obviously very roguey shit, you know. Clearly they're the drug dealers of WoW. That would be very obvious. If there was drugs in WoW, rogues would be the ones dealing it. Even some really cool stuff for Death Knights here. Talking to somebody, a class favorite dialogue right here. This is obviously with the prey system and assassinations, and the Death Knight responds, "Death comes for all." Talking about prey and everything. So this is pretty cool. I like this kind of stuff. I think it just adds more immersion into the game. Even if you're not an RPer, you can appreciate what Blizzard does with this kind of stuff. It just makes the game feel more alive and makes Silvermoon that much cooler of a hub city. I've talked about this before. I do feel like the elves are kind of dealing with the fact that, oh, we got all these people in our city now, all these dirty peasants and everything. So I think it's been really fun. I think Silvermoon overall has been a really, really cool hub city to be in, and I've been enjoying it so far. For now, we'll continue to deal this shit out as it comes, but for today, really, that is all in terms of news.